Hey, welcome live with Busy Bob. 3 words, 5 seconds. I am blessed. I thank God for everything. Just know that, He's doing something with everyone, so just get positioned. It's going down. Get excited. Today we're going to talk about foreclosure 101. If y'all are not ready for this, you may want to go ahead and just step away from the board. It's about to go down. So I'm going to jump into this immediately so y'all can see how this works. Keep one thing in mind, Foreclosure Defense. I've been around for over, I think, 15 years. I was with it when they started, 2 years in the business. I started in the business in 1988. Here we are, about to have my 30-year anniversary coming up. So I want to see everyone there. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Let me tell you a little bit about Foreclosure Defense. We have a systematic technology that we was able to put together that was designed to, how can I say, give a homeowner what they need to understand foreclosure. Because, see, this is what it is. Our epidemic has arose from the unknowing. Homeowners should be, if it was me, and I was President Busy B, okay, I would actually pass a law where the homeowners through the federal have to now just, take a video on foreclosures at the time of close of escrow, and that's just for my 30 years of being in the business and understanding most people that lose their homes are losing them only because they, don't know the consequences behind keeping and then or possessing or controlling the asset, because really it's a non-performing asset because it's their home. Outside that, everything else should be performing, but at the end of the day, their home should be their sacred spot. So when you commit to a home, take that from a guy that lost a lot of houses to foreclosure. I learned that my education was paid for by experience. So here we are. We're going to give you something that has a turnkey, it jumps over the hoops, ins and outs. So let's get into this. Well, first of all, we're going to talk about how this thing works, okay? Why is this so important? Because we need to know statistics. We was targeting Atlanta, Georgia, as you can see here, and when we target Atlanta, Georgia, these statistics, we came back at 1,200 properties in Atlanta. Then the same stage, foreclosure, default, auction, and bank owned. While the number of homes listed is on Realty Track for 4,900 homes. That's just in Georgia. That's just in Georgia. Wow. Phenomenal. Look here. Let me share this with you. We offer a wide array of services, okay? You name it, we have it. And one thing I love that's so unique about this company, we provide foreclosure defense services where we teach people how to gain control immediately of their situation, reorganize their debt, and all these solo enforcement features. We offer quiet title access for people that want to quiet their title while they fight with their attorney. We also offer a resource center. People come get all the information they need to make this happen. And, this is phenomenal. This thing has been the greatest thing since sliced bread, bringing law and homes together, and just knowing that a home has everything. So I just wanted to go ahead and conclude and let y'all know these numbers are real, okay? And I want y'all to see these numbers. So we're going to stay right here for a second, okay? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay right here with these numbers with you, okay? And I want y'all to see this for yourself, not me. It's Realty Track. If y'all know anything about Realty Track, look it up yourself, okay? Let me tell you something. If you look at these numbers real close, you'll see right here in the market summary, it says there are currently 1,100 properties in Atlanta, okay? Look what it says in California. Okay, it says right here in California, there are 583,000 properties in the same stage, equaling a total of 934. Listed 934,000. Listed 4,000. Okay. Why I'm showing you these numbers? Because one is a deed state, one is a mortgage state. Okay. One goes off with it. It just look it up, deed and mortgage, and I'm gonna go in there. That's why I didn't want to say nothing. I'm gonna go over there in a minute. That's coming up. Yes, say that for the great part. Y'all gonna love that. But what I want you to know is this: it's lower than the previous months, and 3 months lower than the same last year. Now, let's talk for a minute, okay? Because when you look at it, you have 34% lower than the previous month and 3% lower than the same time last year. See, what people don't understand is when that bubble burst and it came down, it was designed psychologically to tell you that it's not a problem because it's going down. But in reality, 3% lower than the same time last year, that sounds like a steady wave of foreclosures to me. Okay, we're going to go into that, okay? Home sales for June 2018 were down. You know what I mean? My partner just called me and said, man, you know what? This inventory, ain't no inventory out here really. It's low. A lot of people getting on financing and learning how to buy, and there's low inventory everywhere. So, you know, people nowadays want to move a certain place and do certain things. They can't do that, you know, because of economics. And that a lot of times the economics is reported on the appraisal report. We used to have to break down the files when we have to resell them on the secondary market, and we used to realize that on the appraisals when they put inside, it was, I think it was 231, 220. Don't quote me on that; it's a long time ago. But what it is, it's a form that breaks down the effect of foreclosure in the community. And sometimes that one clause could damage, the numbers in that clause could damage you getting a loan, okay? Because the loan has to be resellable in order for us to be able to give you the loan, okay? Not to go into that, but that's just simply how it works, okay? Now, what I want y'all to see here, though, that's really an eye changer, but it was, when you read here in June 2018, okay? Y'all stay with me now. Whew. I love this. Okay, now June 18th, 2018, we're down. You have 33% compared. That's huge. That's huge. Now, 136% compared with a year ago. That sounds like a foreclosure epidemic to me. The median sales price of a non-distressed home was $295,000. The median sales price of a foreclosure was zero. Or zero higher than the non-distressed homes. Ain't nothing changed. This is what they're saying. And you read between the lines yourself. And this epidemic is across the board. This is why I'm sharing it. Look at this one again. Same thing. 17% compared to the previous year. 233% a year ago. The median sales price of non-distressed homes was $245,000. The median sales price of foreclosure was $0. There go that. They trying to say ain't nothing changed. We in the epidemic. And I got to looking into it. I said, now I don't want to give my theory or my philosophy about it or anything, because that's kind of sacred and private, right? But I tell y'all from what I experienced is I noticed that you know, there's a thing that we need debt in order for our economics to survive. We've been in deficit forever. So they didn't say they you know, the government is ignoring the foreclosure epidemic. What he's saying is if you take it on, then you're responsible. So that's what we're trying to teach homeowners here. We're trying to teach them these statistics are real. They need to know that. So what do? We take time out and we will actually give them the opportunity to be able to facilitate a service called Foreclosure Defense 101. And here it is. It's just simple as this. I'm not going to cut, drag, none of that. This is as real as it gets. What is foreclosure? Fight back or take flight. Chain it up. We have that thing here at our company. We say chain it up. But foreclosure education and defense support services. What is foreclosure? Well, and keep in mind, this is from just a good example that we added to, so therefore you can see what is foreclosure. Okay, y'all pay attention and listen.
Homeowner buys a house and a lender makes the loan. The loan is then resold and the money is used to make more loans. The servicer collects mortgage payments from the original loan.
Audio in post.
Borrower is late or does not make payments. The loan is defaulted. The servicer starts to file for foreclosure. The servicer hires an attorney 30 to 90 days later. A title search is conducted to determine all the property owners and liens. The lawyer files.
Now, that's a process if you want to go through that. But what I want to do is show you, just hold the mouse over it and start the video and leave the mouse there, and then walk away. It's going to come back, okay? This is a great feature for people to learn what is foreclosure defense. Now, what's the answer to it, though? You ready? Foreclosure is a legal process in which a lender attempts to recover the balance of a loan from a borrower who has stopped making payments to the lender by forcing the sale of the asset used as collateral for the loan. That's somebody just said, I ain't making payments. No, not that I know, really. You got to really grab that. I'm not making payments because you got a default for 3 months. Think about it. That's time, right? So if you don't make payments, then the deed of trust or the mortgage, okay, let me explain. We'll do California. We're going to talk about a deed state, okay? The deed of trust prior to the closing after the loan has been approved by the direct lender who is operating under the banker's guidelines that he may sell it to prior to giving you the loan. He adds what you call a trustee, which is an attorney service that agree to recover. So that's what they're talking about here. That's going to attempt. When you say which a lender attempts to recover the balance, that's the attorney, the trustee. Now, when the part where it says from a borrower who has stopped making payments, stop mean that in default is 90 days. If you send them $300, they may send it back and say, hey, we can't take partial. You send it to them again and say, hey, you got loan mind or something you can help me with? You challenging your lender. But however, they still say no. And that's another story. And we're going to go over that later on. That's called a qualified written request. The qualified written request allows you to be able to request all your documents from servicing, and we're going to go over that. We offer it free on our site, foreclosuredefense.solutions. Now look, formerly a mortgage lender, mortgagee, or other lien holders obtain a termination of a mortgage borrower, equitable right to redemption. Equitable right to redemption, either by a court order. That's like an lease pending state where they do like they don't have the lender is not required to put in public records on a notice of default. He's required to send it to the homeowner. The homeowner can post on I need help. But like in the deed state in California, and that's in Georgia or somewhere, but in deed state in California is actually is publicized. But so there in Georgia they will file a lease pending complaint and post it. The lender in California, he just posted it. You feel me? The notice the default for 90 days and come after you. So it's a different process, and you learn that through this whole website. It's so dynamic. I love it. I'm not no master. A lot of people say I am, but I'm still learning stuff. Be like taking me to another level. But right now, I'm working in another sector of this where it's not just defense, but it's more so education, teaching people how to. Okay, so. Now, let's get into it a little bit more. If you ever want to know about foreclosure defense and what is foreclosure, you come here to foreclosuredefense.solutions. Okay? And this is what we're going to go over. We're going to talk about what are the facts and statistics, which I just showed you guys on reality, okay, on our realty track. Okay? What are the 5 stages? Anybody know the 5 stages? Okay? What are the 5 stages? Well, let's talk about the 5 stages. Okay. Well, the 5 stages here reflects a outlook on how a person end up in that situation. How did I end up here? A lot of people ask themselves, how did I end up here? Boy, what did I miss? Did I miss something? I thought we budgeted everything. A lot of times, keep it real, people be losing their spouses, income, all kinds of stuff happen economically that they wasn't prepared for. And that's called life. When life takes place, which happens to the majority of us, that's why I got this saying in my office on this plaque I had, right? It was off the hook. I used to love it. It said, life is 10% what you make it and 90% how you take it. Yes, it's true. You feel me? You got to think about it and chew on it. Now, what I want to do is I want to explain something to you, okay? And I'm going to disclaim you at the end, not the beginning of this. But know one thing, okay? That we are not a law firm. We're not a banker. We're not, I'm just telling you, we're not a notary. We're not an attorney. We're not a loan mod specialist. Well, we are a professional doc analyst company that prepare legal docs for attorney networks and those that go pro sino, and that's pro per. And we do not give no advice on no level at all. What we do is we teach people what is foreclosure and how they got where they at and how to get up out of there. That's it. We don't give no advice. You feel me? Actually, we hook them up with an attorney in our packages we offer. We have some of the greatest packages. So what I'm trying to say that is everybody stay in their lane. We can overcome this whole epidemic in a different way. But we have to be willing to show people how to readjust, how to reorganize, not just bail out. We got to stop that. You know, that's why it's called Foreclosure Defense Network. Fight or take flight. We don't want people to take flight. We want them to learn how to fight. But you can't fight if you're not educated. So we know that we have to educate them on the foreclosure timeline. They have to know where they at. Majority of the people I talk to in these situations, that's, you know, a professional consultant, they'll normally say to me, when I ask, do you know where you are in the process? They say no. They don't have no idea. They looked it up online, don't understand it. But here it is. When they want to go sign those docs, they go to the cold part, you feel me? And I'm not going to give my philosophy, no, my theory. I ain't going to have no theory. That's what we going to call it, the theory of busy. I ain't going to do the busy theory, okay? But I know for a fact when they were signing those docs, they were signing 100 and some docs at a time, which actually, you know, kind of moved the brain to the left a little bit because they didn't understand a lot of stuff they signed. They became a signing habit and signed all the way down. Okay, to the final document, okay, that actually said they could do it. So in reality, as we broke down loans on the secondary market and liquidated them, in reality, we knew that it was 6, 7, maybe 8 documents that we really needed out of 200 some files documents. I used to be like, wow. And that's why roll signing became such a big thing at one time. It was with executives, though, on the executive side, when you look at roll signing. Okay, so these things are what we need to stay focused on with everyone. Okay, so let's talk about the timeline. You got 30, 30, 90 days, 120, 20, 21, 25 days. Okay, so now watch this right here. These days play a big part, but how did we get there? Stage 1, we missed a payment. Stage 2, a public notice take place. You follow me? Stage 3, pre-foreclosure. Stage 4, auction. Stage 5, post-foreclosure. Come on now. This is serious business. Okay? So let's talk about it. One do go through missed payments because they get hurt. Sometimes somebody lose, you know. Then they get a notice of default after 90 days. What you see up here, see this timeline? They get a default. You know what I mean? You know, at this stage right here, they're like, okay, the default is filed. Now they, you know, in 90 days, they only got 21 and 25 days a lot of times, and they're done with it before they go to auction. Okay, and if you go to auction, it's sold. If not, it go to REO. A lot of times, you know, the goal is to be able to help someone, no matter where they're in the stage. But if we can get them here and educate them about their situation early, then they'd be okay here, and they could beat this right here. Because once they get here, it's like the numbers are real slim making it over here to, okay, so let me say we're here. You got the pre-lien, they need to be educated on their lien. They need to be doing the servicing and getting that qualified written request. So if you're a homeowner on here, I suggest Robert B. Frierson. I suggest that you go on our website and get that free qualified written request download and send to your service division. And in 14 days, they go send you back those documents, and those documents will be everything that you signed, okay? And you need to start studying it and learning about it, okay? And the reason being, because of some valid information there to help you always fight. Like, give you a tip. A lot of people don't know this, that basically in the deed state, when you go decide to file a complaint against the lender for wrongful foreclosure or whatever it may be, guess what happens? The first thing they go say, hey, did he send a qualified written request? Because on the deed of trust, that's the first step to mediation. Okay, so it's certain little things that play a part on what you experience with the foreclosure. That's why people ignore it, because it's overwhelming at one time. It's overwhelming at one time, but that's okay. We found a way to make that just to release some of the air out, okay? Because that's so important. So let's move on here. I just want to go over foreclosure defense one-on-one with you guys, okay? I ain't got nothing to sell. I have nothing to sell for you guys. And if you're in foreclosure, come to us and we make sure that you get taken care of, okay? With nothing to sell, we believe in relationships, not sales. Now, what's the goal for foreclosure defense strategy? What's the goal? Right, exactly. The goal, common goal, because we got to build together, okay? The common goal for foreclosure strategy is to prove that the banks do not have the rights to foreclose. The chances of success must rest on attorneys' ability to change how the mortgage industry operates. The strategy aims to take advantage of flaws in the system and presume illegal and unethical behavior on part of the lenders. Now, I'm going to stop right there for a minute. Why is that, to me, such an awesome goal for the company? Because just from my experience, I fought almost 37 bankers and lost to 2 and had a bad season. And I'm going to tell you something. From my experience, I learned that the system is already set in a way where it's monopolized to where if you break that contract in that mortgage, in that when I told you go to the servicing and get all your loan docs that you signed on, and now all your servicing, escrow has everything in there. You break the contract, you automatically lose. Okay, just straight out, because that's what they're saying. That's why you got to make sure you maintain the payment, because the payment is what keeps the veil from being broken. Okay, remember that. So just from my experience, I had investment club, almost 20-some properties that we lost all overall. That was a lot of properties. Me fighting is what made me a professional, and this was in the early 2000s. So I didn't know more mid 2000, 2006, and so I didn't know really, but I was realizing I had to do something, because my seat that I sat in with the company, and a lot of people's lives were depending on me to make sure that we succeed through the epidemic. And we didn't even all know it was the epidemic, neither did me. I was like, what you mean? What? It's about the HELOCs rolls throughout the country, okay? That's that's like an economic war, I learned. I paid for my education. I had a great experience, which y'all all can look me up. Busy Bob, From Zero to a Hero. It's my book coming out. Y'all look out. Now, what I want to do is let me talk a little bit more about this defense strategy. The foreclosure defense is a new concept. Okay. Now, keep one thing in mind. It's a new concept that contains a grow alongside with raising tide of foreclosure cases. Okay. While some courts accept foreclosure defense arguments, others find them specious and hand down decisions more beneficiaries to banks than homeowners. Yes, that's right. When beneficiaries, because remember, for example, let me give you an example. When you go do a loan mod, people don't know this. When you're in foreclosure, you can go ahead and see, and you go to our website, you go there and go to HARP. It's one of the options, and you'll see that in 102. We'll go over that later, or 103. But how it works is this: HARP, they see if you're eligible, and it's something that Obama came out with through the administration to help homeowners that are facing foreclosures. Okay, so it see if you're eligible through HARP to be able to qualify for a loan mod to help you get going. So, you know, they got Keep My House in California, which is a really another great company. These companies, they're out there. They're out there to help. Remember, help is free. I don't care anybody say. People be like, oh, help costs. No, it don't. No, it don't. People want to help, but you got to get educated to find out who to look for, because they be right in front of you sometimes. You just don't know it. So that's why people can't get help, because they don't know what help look like. You got to know what help look like to get help. Okay? Remember that. Now, remember, it's a lot of people, and this is, once again, we're on the defense strategy still here, okay? Yeah, I want y'all to notice it's a growing number of victoriously, like homeowners, state to state, federal court, had altered the foreclosure landscape dramatic. I'm going to tell my own opinion, because I remember when we talked about this, giving optimism to tens of thousands of homeowners in similar situations. And because many of American large banks have acknowledged unorthodox, unaccepted, or even illegal practices in the areas of mortgages, loan modifications, and foreclosures, they inadvertently have given homeowners additional immunitation with which to fight. So they giving homeowners man, come on, man, the government got involved. That's just like old boy Bitcoin. He signed up. First he was on the board of I think the council board of the city of New York, and where Bitcoin jumped off at, and he was on the board, and at the end of the whole Bitcoin documentary, and so he got off the board and became an owner of Bitcoin. But my point I'm trying to make is this: at the end of the day, is that, you know, the government is now getting involved, and they teaching individuals how to fight, because they already know that the banks are unorthodox. Okay, they acknowledge it. The large banks acknowledge it was unorthodox, unacceptable, or even illegal practices in the areas. Loan modifications. That's serious, man. Come on. So this is not something because people are just not making payments. This is something because there's not enough people out here helping, enough companies helping. Everybody so economically driven, nobody has stopped and taken time to say, let's educate the community. Let's teach the community what Foreclosure 101, 102, and 103 is all about. And this is what you guys are learning here. So, is foreclosure defense a legal strategy? That's always that question, huh? I know, huh? Once again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a banker. I don't do none of these things, the consultation that you may ask me and want me to, but you're welcome to text me if anything regarding to the Foreclosure 101. And my number, you will find it at 470-369. Yes, that's right. You got that? 8149. That's the Georgia. And you can catch me in California at 562-616-3338. Okay? Now, I work both states, so you can catch me on either one of those with a text, and I'll answer your question, only pertaining to what we share. All right? So let's move on. Is foreclosure defense a legal strategy? I'm asking you. Well, the foreclosure defense strategy is a legal nature, right? And it can be handled differently by different courts. It should not be ignored when preparing a case. So that's why that's what I love about our company. Man, we are so in there, like swimwear. I love this. What I really love, because we get to work with a lot of good third parties. These people are people in what we call our resource network. The resource network is the bomb. From attorneys, we got, oh my goodness, we got attorneys, we have dock carriers, drawers, all kind of. We have all the fully loaded. So that's what I love about this. It's not a sale. It's an actual service out here helping people. It's crazy. I love that. So I get excited about it too. So y'all work with me, all right? They say exciting to sell, but I ain't got nothing to sell. That's the cold part. So I'm just natural with you right now, okay? But the tactic of attacking a lender, okay, this is serious, okay? Y'all need to pay attention, okay? You got to be real careful when you're dealing with this type of business, by the way. Let me get that out there, okay? Yeah, because when you're dealing with these lenders, they're like the biggest. They are the ones. They are the ones controlling our economics. To keep it real with y'all, because remember I was saying earlier that people don't know that we need that in order to produce capital. So when you go to it's called the leverage. It's called leverage group dot solutions. Or when you're I forgot the name of the site, but I'll post it. Y'all text me. I send it to you. I'll look it up. But it's really cool because it shows a poll that people and they had it broken down in ethnicity, which people of different cultures, on who use credit and who don't. And it showed that African Americans was at the bottom. We had less credit. We was more debt free. But at the end of the day, those that have credit, you can leverage out more debt out on your business, your entity. So, and live off the entity. So these people don't, in the community, when they buy these homes, they don't know that their home is available and open to be an income performing asset. They don't have to wait to get into trouble and sell. They have to learn that, I could turn into an income performing asset way before I get to my situation. That's the key. People need to know that they have an asset and not, their heart get caught up in it, their pride get caught up in, people don't want to leave. They ain't with that. But, when they get down to it, they be like, man, I should have, I could have, I wish I would, because I was that guy. Believe me, I thought of all that, boy. So even when I had a lady ex-judge was teaching me how to process, QTAs back in the day, and I didn't have no idea what was going on, but it was a blessing because I was in the middle of the war and it was helping me. So these things, they play a big part in the process. Okay, now I'm gonna share this with you. Okay. If you consider doing anything like this, get you an attorney. I tell everybody, you must get a professional counsel. You got to get an attorney. Listen to me. Don't try to do nothing without an attorney. I do everything with my attorneys, okay? Because they going to give me the green light or the red light. It ain't going to be no in between. It ain't going to be no guessing games. Guessing games get you in trouble, okay? So I have to learn how to operate with my attorneys. So regardless how you educate about the process, it's an area of the law that requires a well thought out, competent presentation in the state or federal court. You know what that means? You need to have the proper documentation as well as, I'm talking about the investigation that goes with it. It's just like y'all watch them shows, Law and Order, et cetera, them shows, type of shows. You see how they do it. They go in there and they the forensics first, and that's what we do. We investigate, and then we come with options for a complaint. If that's what they choose to do with the attorney or however they request through our network, we give them the documentation to help them go fight, and we give them attorney network. Not only that, we assign them attorney in that area with an affidavit from an attorney that certify all the document as what you call an affidavit, a witness affidavit. And it's so it just makes it so much easier for the homeowner that they have an attorney on their side ready to go. When you come in, you get like 12 hours. I'm just going to go on that real quick because this strategy is designed around the legal industry in a different way. It's not law, it's procedure. And what happens is this. Once you understand those two, you'll understand the foreclosure defense itself. Well, one thing we know that whenever we assign an attorney, we make sure that that witness affidavit is based on everything that we analyze from the investigation of the Bloombergs, the SEC, the federal. When I used to underwriting process them back in the day, that's what we had to do, a lot of manual. It wasn't like none of the stuff was on the internet back in the day. It is now, but I don't work that department at the company, so it's funny that when sometimes everyone just go process, but I love this right here too, the teaching process. So I did a lot of that already. It'd be 30 years coming up November this year. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do my Super Bowl birthday party in Georgia and do that too. This is gonna be one of the greatest years of my life because God got me positioned where I'm able to give back to the community, and not only that, but to those that are in need of what I know. Because I asked God, how can I help people that what I know in my gift in real estate? I had an awesome gift in underwriting secondary financing, like creative financing was always my thing, and I always had to give something back, but didn't know how. So God showed me this. He said, you have a foreclosure defense strategy in this package stuff because we only have foreclosure defense only 2 times. Going on a third time. The third one is here, you guys. That wave is about to hit. 2 times in the last 50 years. So you do the math. That means that's a number count between those years, okay? So I just want to share that with y'all so that y'all can see where I'm going with this. Now, we're going to start with the next level, okay? Let's see here. Let's talk about how to defend and or avoid foreclosure. How to defend and or avoid how do we avoid it? Well, there's 5 options to stop foreclosure options. Y'all know that, right? Okay. Well, the first one is the loan mod. Second is the short sale. Okay. Third is the bankruptcy 13, which is reorganizing the debt. Fourth is a deed in lieu. Okay. And fifth, you can lease option and get, turn to income performing asset, and hope that it's at the discretion of the trustee he'd be willing to stop. Okay. So we call this fight or flight. Thank y'all for taking this flight with me on one-on-one. Next to come, I want y'all to know, stay tuned, because I'm going to teach you foreclosure 1-on-2. Yes, indeed. We will cover things such as the lender foreclosure workout on a loan mod. We're going to talk about a little bit about the homeowner short sale. We're going to talk about the deed in lieu. We're going to talk about the bankruptcy 13. We're going to talk about the lease option. And we're going to go in depth. So I want y'all to stay tuned, because this strategy right here is the strategy that changed America. Okay. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And hey, let me get my peace and my love out to everyone. Okay. This has been awesome. And I thank y'all very much for everything I've done, everything, and making this real. Hey, God bless y'all. Talk to y'all on the other end. 102 coming up.